Okay, so tell me about the Land Trust Alliance.
So the Land Trust Alliance is a national organization that supports and represents nonprofits around the country that are engaged in land conservation in their community. And these nonprofits have been organized at the local level, state level, and even the national level. And they work with their communities to identify the special places people need love. It can be agricultural land, it can be trails and parks, it can be natural areas that are significant for water quality. And actually, we're thinking a lot more about climate change adaptation and resiliency in communities and making sure that people have the places they need and love.
Perfect. Can you name any in New Orleans?
In New Orleans, we work with the Land Trust for Louisiana, which is a statewide organization. They do a number of their projects here in the New Orleans area. There are also a number of national organizations that are active in this area, like the Nature Conservancy, Ducks Unlimited, and the Conservation Fund. So together, often in partnership, they're identifying important resources that need protection.
Tell me about the scope. I mean, how many acres, how many people? It's pretty big right now.
Yeah, well,
Wait, I'm sorry.
Nationally, in our...
Actually, can you tell them to give us 5 minutes? I'm afraid my mic will pick that up and it'll be...
We'll just tell the reg desk to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah. I can tell they're having a good time, they're laughing, but if I get back and I don't have an audio that I can work with. I think we're good, so go ahead, you start.
Okay, well, you want me to talk about the scope of...
Yes.
So nationally, land trusts have protected more than 61 million acres as of the end of 2020, and we are on set to try to protect another 60 million more in the next decade. And this land is all kinds of properties that people...
It's okay. We got a great editor, production manager.
Like we said, if you get hung up,
Deep
just
breath.
start over.
It's like I was like watching somebody go by and... So, nationally, land conservancies have protected over 61 million acres as of the end of 2020. And the organizations are really gearing up right now to protect another 60 million acres in the next decade. It's so important to have this land conserved for climate change, for water quality, for food security, and making sure that communities also have the amenities they need, like affordable housing and safe places to recreate.
Perfect.
Now, I don't know if you want to do it one more time, but if you want to do the 60 million acres is more than all U.S. national parks combined, that might be a fun. I don't know if you want to do it one more time.
That is a good thing.
Get that one in there too. This is why we have the communications guy here.
I did this with Audubon Zoo, and you're right, the communications person was...
Kept throwing tips in.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So nationally, we have protected more than 60 million acres of land. That's more than all of the national parks in the country. And these land trusts have protected lands that are important for their communities, for habitat, for wildlife, parks, for trails. And we're looking at climate resiliency also and making sure that we can have safe places for people to go and to improve the resilience of the communities.
What's the impact on saving wildlife and endangered species?
Yeah, and as we think about climate change and resiliency and the endangered species, I mean, all of us are going to have to adapt. And we have so many species that are endemic, which means they only live in a certain place. And if we don't protect those lands and look at strategies to make sure that they can survive, we will lose a lot of species, wildlife, plant communities. And it's so important to pay attention so that we have the diversity in nature that has been there for hundreds of years.
Okay. So tell me about the rally. I mean, it's you had a great turnout. What are some of the numbers in workshops, vendors? Just give me an overview of the rally.
Overview of rally. Well, I am really excited because this is our first rally since the pandemic, and we have 1,500 people who came to rally. We had 800 people at our welcoming dinner last night, and everybody is so excited to be together. And there are a lot of people over the last couple of years, we did rally virtually. They got to introduce the Alliance virtually with the rally experience, and they just had to come. So it's been so great. And these are professionals from land trusts. These are governmental organizations that support land conservation, and all the vendors who are professionals have services, whether they're consultants or technology, or even folks who are here to partner with land trusts. So it's just great to see the community together again.
What are some of the names of the workshops that people can take part in?
So we have a number of different what we call tracks. So you can go to a workshop to build a better board. And of course, nonprofits rely on their board for their governance and their fundraising. You can go to a workshop to learn more about how to engage your community, especially as we look at diversifying and be more inclusive in the conservation and environmental sector. Learning how to meet the communities where they are is such an important skill set that all of us are trying to build. And then there's also highly technical ones, because we have to defend the lands that we have preserved. So we often end up in legal battles. So we have legal defense sessions here where you learn about what's happening in the law, how to monitor, and then be prepared to defend the properties that your organization has worked so hard to protect.
Nice. And how, you guys did tours, the local Louisiana people gave you some tours of the area. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Yeah, the local host committee, which includes land trusts and other partners on the ground, Groundwork USA, for example, here in New Orleans, they did a tour for us, but we had 7 field trips that took people out so we could see different aspects of conservation work around the New Orleans area. Everything from understanding some of the wetland mitigation projects that are going on, some of the stormwater protection projects that are going on. And of course, New Orleans is all about water, managing water, making sure people are safe. And then we also had some sessions that went out to see some wildlife and go birding. So it was great. People loved it.
Perfect. There's any things you want to get out?
I mean, no, you covered what was on the list.
Anything important that you want me to riff on that you can think of? You caught the national park thing. Which
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to ask about some of the speakers.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
That they had, or like, because
The planetary.
like Colette is from
Yeah.
is local, and
We will have Colette Michon Battle.
yeah, because this will air after she's already spoken,
Right.
and we will. I think DJ and I are going to try to get some video footage of her speaking. I mean, they're recording it, but
And her new organization that she's with is Taproot Earth, right?
Taproot Earth, yeah.
Okay.
Formerly, do you want me to look up what it formerly was, or do you just want to go with Taproot Earth?
She switched organizations.
And she was a
She
2019 Obama Fellow because of her work in the
Yeah, I
Gulf.
don't know what to go into.
Too much detail? Okay.
Too much detail, but okay. Let me center myself out and see what
Let me shot that.
Yep. Okay. And we're so excited to have had Colette Pichon Battle join us here at Raleigh. I'm sure many people in the Louisiana area know her, and she came to speak with us about her experience working on climate justice and with the resiliency of recovering from natural disasters. Sorry, I want to start that over again. I want to do that a little bit. Colette Pichon Battle is joining us at Raleigh. She's with Taproot Earth. Sure, I can say that. Colette Pichon Battle is joining us here at Raleigh this year, and she's with Taproot Earth. And she's going to be talking to us about environmental justice, climate resiliency, mitigation of natural disasters, all of these things that she's worked on so hard for many years here on the Gulf Coast and especially in Louisiana. And she's going to have a great message for us as we're all thinking about the future of all of our places we live and love as we look at the impacts of climate change, the changing conditions we all live in, and how we need to support each other in recovering from all the natural disasters, whether it's flooding or fires or just the changes in temperatures that we all have to live in. It's an important topic we all have to learn more about.
Okay. How about trees? I know there was a couple of vendors here that were focused on planting trees, and just maybe a land trust where you're focused on foresting or forestry or something. Because I'm thinking just the migratory birds or Ducks Unlimited, maybe a little bit more. Did we expand on that a little? I noticed there was a couple of booths, like I said, that were here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about what angle to take. Because
Yeah.
we're not really about planting trees quite so
No.
much as we are about forest health.
Okay, I want to